And with a white-hot crowd behind him chanting, "Si se puede," they in fact do it. Yes, they can. Heretics force a map 3, and what an incredible final round that was. I thought Meunier was going to blow them up with a rocket. It turns out nothing happened. That was nuts.
Absolutely incredible stuff. Heretics cannot lose in front of this home crowd. They come out and look incredible here on Lotus. I think playing up against the PRX, who they have something, playing the best map we've seen from him this tournament thus far. But the man of the match was absolutely Mini Boo. This guy's Neon. I've really never seen anything else like it. It looks like he's in the Matrix. Every time he's sliding into one of these forward plays, he's just so precise at avoiding utility and isolating these kills.
Well, this is the thing, you know, Mini Boo, you might even look at the kills there and see Benji Fish, he ends up with more kills than him, but it's the way Mini Boo's doing it. It's the impact of those opening kills when you're sliding into angles, when you're taking this map control for your squad. And as you can see there, securing it by not only getting onto a site, but then continuing the aggression further into their spawn. You know, we talk a lot about PRX being a squad, especially previously, but still a squad that has that identity as being able to come out, like GB says, and punch you in the mouth. But here, it looks like they weren't able to match up pound for pound on Lotus.
Just look at his movement. This guy is nuts. He's incredible at this agent. No one else in this tournament is playing Neon, and there's a reason, because I think mechanically Neon is the hardest agent you can play in Valorant, and he executes it so well. Beyond just being a fragger and setting up these plays, his stuns are also so incredibly impactful on their defense, stalling out these hits, preventing swings and trades from PRX. It really is such an incredible agent that Heretics build around incredibly well.
Yeah, it really feels like he's playing a completely different game. Like, I'm just blown away by how Mini Boo can take an agent that no one else is really using to great effect and own it. Own it like a champ. That stuff right there, that's the stuff of legend, though. But let's actually go ahead and check out our HyperX Reflex moment of the day. Of course, we got to show some love, though, to the other side of the field. Got to show some love to something. He's always going to do some silliness, though, right? And Mitch, you know, again, you're really going to be looking for this output from something, especially going into map 3.
Well, yeah, absolutely. Especially if he pulls the Gecko back out. That's when I'd be excited. But this is absolutely beautiful. Even in slow motion, it looks a little bit too quick. He's jumping around, gaining advantages on top of boxes to close out that round, and gave PRX a heartbeat towards the end of the game. That could have carried them across the line. This time, a little shy.
Yeah, this was honestly not a terrible map from PRX. The players like something were going really, really strong. And on top of that, they had some great ideas. Their pistol round in the second half in particular really impressed me. This team is showing that, well, not everything is ready. They're not in their final form yet. They still do have a lot of these preset ideas prepped up that they've executed on quite well, which is part of the reason it's so difficult. And here's that round in question, right? They're instantly pressuring towards C, making it look like there's more pressure on that side. Heretics is drawn into this A site, and guess what? Massive stack ready to go here. A trap play set up with the paranoia, the flash, and the nade all coming out in conjunction. When PRX can get ahead on these calls and execute these set plays, they have the individuals to absolutely shut you down. It was some great moments from them, and yeah, just really impressive that Heretics are still taking us to a third despite rounds like that.
Yeah, absolutely, because it wasn't just used there in the pistol, right? We saw the follow-up again, I think 2 rounds later, where this squad is trying to push out and take control over Mound, and you see this constant bombardment, not just the paranoia, not just the sky flash, but the nade as well. The door open for a player to take a fight inside of it. It's so difficult to deal with that many players and that much utility coming your way so early on in the round.
We're going to split now, and you got to be worried for PRX, because this map did not look good for them the other day, right? When they were playing up against EDG, they were constantly leaving space on these flanks. Hao Dong was abusing the A ramp control when PRX was on their defense, because they're running a triple duelist, double smokes comp that not only has no sentinel to actively hold space, but also really lacks active info, because you have no initiator to make those re-clears easier.
I'm actually kind of curious to see what we're going to get out of Heretics here as we jump into this one as well. There's just really, like, I think at this point now we have, it's a BO1, you gotta shake it off, right? Heretics certainly riding that high coming out of that last game, but with PRX, what we've seen, even when we were looking at those pistols, even when you think like, oh man, PRX licking their wounds, they they will find a way to get right back in it. So Heretics can't let them back in.
Well, you know, one of my concerns is that Heretics barely made it across the line in that one, and then you look at Split, a map that they played up against KC, they beat them, and when it came back to it, KC had them figured out. They demolished them. You mentioned the EDG game. I think it was a 13-9 loss for their opponents. Well, PRX looked a little better because Heretics was 13-5 loss. Agent select in, and
PRX, I'm happy to see this. They're reinventing the comp a little bit, switching Devi on to a initiator here, the Sky, instead of what was previously basically that third duelist in the mix. So they still don't have a Sentinel, but their re-clears are going to be a lot stronger on defense, and they're going to have a lot more utility behind the 1-2 punch of Something and Forsaken. This comp will play a lot more similar to what we've seen previously in this series with these double duelist comps.
I kind of like this. At the same time, you know, Forsaken when it comes to a Yoru can be super interesting, but I think the problem with Split is you're much more boxed in terms of what you can do. There's not as many open avenues and not as much space for you to sneak that gate crash in.
Team Heretics in front of their home crowd, a chance to eliminate one of the best teams that have made it to so many international events before. If they could do it here on Split, what a moment it would be for the Spanish organization.
You're so right, Mimi. This is a massive moment here for Heretics to win in front of this crowd, but PRX can leave them silent. Let's send it back over to Brennan's Sideshow.
Thank you very much, guys. Let's get to it, man. Elimination game as it's already been set up, and we set our sights to Split. Now, I was anticipating, we've had some silly rounds, don't get me wrong, but I was anticipating something a little bit sillier, maybe PRX throw in that triple duelist once more. Hasn't been the case, though. Going back to something that's a bit more, I mean, tried and tested, to put it lightly.
Yeah. And it reminds me of Alex's arrival quote when he came today. He said, W Gaming is 2023. So we've got to figure something out for this year. And this really feels like Madrid has been an evolution process of PRX, trying to figure out their identity, struggling to reinvent themselves a little. Let's see how good they look running basically last year's meta composition, except with Monyet not on the Astra.
Boo. Straight up through. Look at that. Smoke to cut off the at least backwards retreat potential for the punish, but everybody just wants to react into this one. PRX through into B, they realize it's an open site.
Just looking for the hard lurk player, but I think PRX's comp won't have as much of a hard lurk.
They're in back side. Looks like they want to try and take a fight.
Paranoia.
It's Paranoia. Off of whose contact? Something's here. Let loose, let rip. Boo hits the deck. Now there's plenty more players just trying to scoop up and vacuum back up that space. Heretics are worried about it.
They're using the flash there to stop the trade, not to set up the kill. Hyper confident that Something's going to win the duel.
Now just walking right into it. Look at this. Forsaken! Oh my!
It's another immaculate pistol round from PRX. These pistol rounds and the thrifties, the low buys in general, have been really solid for PRX.
It's been the major win gun for them, man. I mean, the reason why these maps have been so closely contested. The pistol rounds, the bonus rounds, the ecos.
Yeah. Forsaken even going for the shorty in this round, just so that he can set up a play like that. So good. Boo's scratching his head just a little there. Another round where Team Heretics were very much playing for the retake. They went for that early round aggression into the opposite side of the map, kind of funneling PRX into the B hit so that they could play retake, and it ended up just getting crushed by post-plant aggression. Got to be wary of that. Something is on a heater so far.
It's popping off. Stack though. Nade. Stun. Flooding back in. Lines it up, but Boo was able to just at least capitalize from the back lines. Forwards is the position of Rians. Round and around the pillar we go. The kills found once more for Boo. But that classic 3 versus 3. They haven't given up over of the weapons though. They've been dropped down, not really reclaimable.
And I think that might end up being the difference maker. PRX still really heavily favored despite losing people.
Okay.
Oh, very close on that timing.
Stealing sight.
Paranoia, forwards. Just clipping the side of the head with the wall taking most of the damage. Something, this guy, he's feeling it. He's on one. 4 kills against the eco, farming up towards the Blade Storm.
Yeah, and that's amazing because Monyet and Forsaken both didn't really invest into that round. They can start to buy. Something's getting close to the Blade Storm too. And this has got real power on the bonus round. And I think this is what, again, like you said, Brett, one of the biggest reasons why PRX have been able to make this a really close series so far. Putting a lot of pressure on Heretics when Heretics have looked better in the gun rounds.
Yeah. Looking a bit like a library right now in the arena, but a bonus round might just turn the frowns upside down for a lot of the fans.
Benji is hiding in this corner.
Oh my! Through, hiding into the corner, but what can he really do? There's a cage, just to play anti-flash position. Nasty, nasty adjustment. Snaps upwards, they don't know where he is.
Lost.
They're trying to hunt him down. Lost as anything.
And something did not even try to get the trade. He went for a react play into heaven.
He's in heaven. Camped, tagged up.
That's wild. That is wild. When the Jet engages like that and pushes elbow, you expect, I would say 100% of the time, the Jet is going to then go back into sight to make sure you deal with that troublesome player. Benji normally should be able to get one there and then just get shot in the back. And instead he gets 3?
Follow up. But my God, what a time to really shine.
And okay, it hasn't broken the PRX economy.
I'm so good. I'm so good. Yo, sit down. Yo, guys, sit down. Sit down.
But I got to agree. I got to agree.
Out of my way.
Benji's been a nightmare for them to deal with, but fast, up mid.
Oh, again, you anticipate anything else other than it, Mini Boo. He holds it down, rooted in place at times, but he finds that kill against his adversary.
Another player who's just been phenomenal individually for Heretics. They've had the firepower today to be able to go toe-to-toe with PRX. It's just about being able to, you know, get the really important rounds across the line.
Ball fades, spots it, one player, stun. Fault line to re-peek. Flash through around the back.
And a re-clear. Something can tell the rest of his team there that clearly there's a stack over towards B Heaven if they're going to make a play like that.
It's trips. Disgusting one out towards Heaven. That's to punish a player who might be just trying to updraft, satchel their way up through main into that spot.
And that's a classic play that something will go for.
What a re-clear. Beautiful read.
Timing could not have been better. Now it's left up to just a few stragglers, PRX players. Nice movement, at least the tip. Tap! Not enough! Benji! Precision
30 seconds left.
on display, fully in control. Don't you dare set your sights or your feet whatsoever near his side, because this guy is on one.
He looks amazing. I mean, he must have gone for the pop-off after that round too. If he's already calling himself, I don't know, what word did he use? Great coded? I don't care. Throw all the superlatives out there. He is giving it.
Fuel to the fire here for Heretics. It wasn't already there, silencing them. Look at that. Getting cheeky with it.
But he is looking monstrous over here.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the trip being broken sets up the re-clear.
He set the crowd off.
Well deserved, but early. This is the final map between both of these teams. Everything's on the line. To think that a couple rounds like that are going to rattle PRX, even in a crowd like this, oh, you would be sorely mistaken. These are tried and tested players who've been able to get it done before with everything against them. And sure, there are other reasons why you might want to doubt them over here on Split. Their first time picking up, you know, this composition after a while playing the triple duelist. But still, Heretics are showcasing they have a system that works. One of the downsides, actually, of Team Heretics' composition is that they don't have an info initiator. But if they can find good timings to flash re-clear areas, and PRX fall into it like they did in the previous round, well, that's not a weakness anymore. Suddenly it's a strength.
Back at a timeout. Looks like the call's been made. Guess what? Looking like they might have wanted to send it, but no, just pausing here in the cam. Up above, oh my.
Just some well-timed spam there based on the wall going up.
Camera taken out.
Benji's in the same spot again. Doesn't care.
By all metrics, I mean, that should be just a one and done. But the man's been making it a 3 and done.
It's also really good because it pulls people onto really deep, committed angles that the rest of your team can play off.
Nade, fault line.
This is
down.
This is dangerous, actually, for Paddy.
Giving up heaven control. Benji, though, still, guess what? Same spot here. Yeah, not really with the guns, though. The flashing is good, and the connection was a T-flash. He maintains his composure. Locking it down and through with the riflesman, yet not too much more you can do.
even with Rienz blinding the bejesus out of Benji there, he still manages to deliver in that position. He's so comfortable playing from there. Seen him play that spot so many times in EMEA throughout the kickoff. But you see, even when Moniak goes for that elbow push, it doesn't pull his crosshair. He waits for the next player through. And Rienz is sending those flashes so that he can play off the back of it too, right? He's playing himself into the spot.
I'm so sorry.
But yeah, something to clean up slightly. Early ramp at the beginning of this round. And this is the first time where we've seen PRX, from what I can remember, play very spread across the map. They're fighting for both sides of the map at the same time. A ramp and B main.
Control of both of them.
I can't believe Benji is in the same damn spot.
But they also just keep wanting to go A, despite the fact that Benji's been doing this one, and they're walking out,
No way.
Again, they don't expect it.
There's no way.
Again, a 90-degree snap to the side. Forsaken as a wrist breaker, but he doesn't land any shots in the process. And they're left stunned almost, reeling.
The fact that Forsaken, who is now playing the Rays, is not clearing that position because he's like, right, guys, Benji cannot be there 3 rounds in a row.
Right there.
That would be silly.
That would be silly. But sometimes silly's what it takes. Gives a team like HyperX something at the attack side up. Reveals his hand. Everybody backing away though. What you were talking about earlier, Josh, you know, that prior map control, they were gaining B main, A main at the same time. They're leaving something really to his own devices. There's so much danger here.
But look, if something wants to clear this corner that Benji's been playing in, he has to come out so wide.
Look at this, I mean, even with it, oh, the
30
movement.
seconds
It's
left.
nice. No way. Committal! Timing!
There's no way.
Boo!
Spike down.
Oh,
B.
boo! What? My God! No one spotted him, no one pinged him. Mindfreak eventually cleans him up, but listen, reinforcements are a while away, and with the spike drop down, it's a save.
I would love to see that from Moniat's perspective. Is that the
10
one
seconds
spot?
left.
Okay, so when you ult as an Omen, your vision slowly improves over time. And I'm wondering, was he just looking in the wrong direction at the end of the ultimate?
I don't
Could he
know.
not see Boo? Is that a situation where the Omen ult obscured his vision a little bit? Because often you will try to set up high-low peaks with
go.
the Omen ult. You'll use it as bait to pull the crosshair.
30
Let's see it from his
seconds
POV. He sees him, but it doesn't feel like he reacts quick enough or potentially comms it either.
Cleared too late. Cleared way too late.
That is a weird one. Wow. PRX are genuinely looking rattled here. Not something that I was expecting to say right at the beginning of Split. They're looking a little mentally out of it.
Yeah. I mean, his early timeout's being taken by PRX. There was one a few rounds ago.
He's missed the feet.
He's missed it. Can't quite see it now. He sees it though. Spotted. Exchange of the fire, the flash, no connection. Everybody grouped up towards B main. Some bite to the round, of course. Even with the limited weaponry of PRX. Never know when we're going to hit some shots off. But really, I mean, Heretics on full display, I think, with a lot of their defensive setups.
They're going to stun re-clear mid here.
Don't leave anything to chance. Trailblazer. Forwards, mini boot. Just peeking out wide. Peppers them with bullets as they're trying to just retreat.
They stopped them before they even got to the trip.
Yeah. Haven't even cleared it. Saken's wondering how to break this one. Guess what? You can't really.
Yeah.
You have to swing into it.
No, it's horrible. It's a really horrible trip to deal with. Very powerful.
Poison's off.
Crossing back through main, running out of really opportunities. Jumping peak by something, back through, in and out. Drifting with the movement. Did he know the device pushed up onto this angle? It seems like Boo has that awareness. Forsaken through mid. There's a rocket. It's sent loose and flying again. Where's it going? Into the back and didn't kill him, man. He still stands tall. Try and conquer him. Try and take this side up, but the anchoring players are making a mockery of the PRX play style. Nails him.
Final bullet in the clip. Boo puts a punctuation mark at the end of that sentence. Do not come to be. But I gotta say, Brent, this was kind of shambolic the way that PRX played this. Why are they peeking with an op through the smoke instead of letting the showstopper provide the pressure and at least figuring out, you know, forcing some kind of play out of him?
It's not synced up.
Do you see that? Benji predicting the fact that Alex is going to be smacking his desk.
Yep.
I swear that's what he's going for there.
Oh my God!
I'm going to be honest, I thought there was going to be more there after the oh my god.
But it's another timeout, the second one. Short succession here for PRX, and you can feel it, the necessity of it.
Am I overreacting here to say this just looks cooked?
I think so. I mean,
we're only 7 rounds in. A team like PRX can still come back, but the manner in which these rounds are going down, Benji's in the same corner of A. I mean, people are going to be calling that the Benji fishing spot.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how these kind of things emerge within the game. And then also Boo just holding down B on his own against 3 players and a showstopper. These rounds are not looking good, not looking clean for PRX.
Clean. I mean, sometimes when you mix up the comp last minute, you're playing something like this away from what you've just been screwing with, playing with an officials. Things go amiss. You run out of the right ideas, especially if you haven't put it into practice, and it really puts demand on everybody to just try and cook up something to get through this. But the trouble is when you're running against such a well-drilled setup like Heretics, when they have these retake protocols, when they have all these ideas, it's just inevitable that you're going to be failing. If you are improving and they've already come up with a Google Doc 20 steps ahead, you're not going to have it.
Okay, but Patty's position right now, getting squeezed.
Yep, stun, lay down, Forsaken. Can't really move and he is being squeezed. So, a rifle obtained. Reward for their troubles. Now they're really just making the moves out towards Heaven. Benji forced away from the precious corner that he's been loving to play in. Back towards, again, screens, one-way smokes. At least the cages set up for him. Gives him that covering fire. Monyet finally puts him down. Blinded. Brilliant! You absolute animal! You absolute beast! And Monyet, what can you do? Rolling thunder up in the air. Target practice. It's inevitable at this point. Heretics, man, they will not be dislodged from Spain.
If it's not one of them, it's the other. Benji does a great job. He even manages to get one again from his position, holds them back with a double cage setup.
What is that?
What is that, man?
One enemy remaining.
It's a paranoia play. Another part of the setup, right? But at the same time, you still don't expect Rien's to be good enough to pick up 3 off the back in such a short space of time.
Filthy stuff. Cutting it into the round, the options running out. Paranoia finally clears into the corner, but a cage to play into it. It splits it up entirely. Benji, Fishy, take your time. Take your pick, son. Finally, the return of the fire with a shotgun to the face and a vulnerability there with a snake bite. Can't really follow through with the stingers. Hello, and open it. Found and claimed. The site is theirs. The plant will go down. PRX not going to be pushed back away from this one.
Spike planted.
2v4 players are low, and enough out into the open that may be a possibility.
These players are
Here
weak.
for Heretics, 2v2. Seekers have to be used. It's just trying to count for the players' positions. Broken. Miniboo scared about it. Nade rebounds. Nade rebounds. Monyet in a 1v2. This started as a 4v2. No utility to his name. Doubled up. Heretics, you got to think discipline. Name of the game. A dodge, a weave, a duck, a play. And Monyet saves the bloody day.
The Red Bull clutch from Monyet. In the round after, Benji is screaming across the stage for him to step up.
But I've got to be honest with you, Brent, considering that this was a 2v4, I'm not happy with it.
Yeah.
Enemy remaining.
In the sense that they get one on the board and they figured out how to deal with the A anchors, yeah, okay, good stuff. Disappointment on the face there of the Heretics fans, but it's mirrored within the coaching booth of PRX, because even when things go well, there are problems.
Trip now set up for Ram. Miniboo, he's in their faces right now with the show stopping the movement. Little bit adjusted though, he can't quite find it. Flash, push him away. Got to respect that one now.
He was looking to try to punish the Trailblazer coming out from Divide, but he couldn't quite. Forsaken had a nade up in his face. Yeah, they kind of called a cancel there. And Benji is watching. Mind free timing, tries to take a timing. Shut down.
Now you run your wee little legs right into the B anchor. Guess what? It's
we're going for Boo, are we?
Yeah.
Benji on one side, Boo on the other.
Good luck to you. How do you clear him? Boo avoids it, round to the back. Still with the shotgun. No way, he knows it. Feels it. Maybe just hearing it, possibly off the sound cues. Pad attack though. Took that timing and took that chance. Gifted with one. Something's there. It's a flood defense, a flood play. Right in. Resetting. The aim! My God! Get out of here with that!
Shadows of the ace that Forsaken got previously. That was incredible individual ability to be able to push them across the line. You're not really doing anything about that. Heretics tried to increase the pace, tried to bring it to them. Double kind of walked out through that and just got picked off. Neil Zenio's immediately taking a timeout, and I think he's going to be trying to talk to them about maybe setting themselves up a little bit so that they have the perfect timing to get out through the smoke.
Yeah.
But there wasn't much of a mistake there. The timing wasn't that far off. It's more credit, in my opinion, to how good Forsaken's aim looks rather than anything looking too sloppy for Heretics. And to be honest with you, Brent, if PRX are able to put another 2 on the board here and tie this up 6-6, it will be a miracle for them. Because they were looking so down and out.
Yeah, I mean, how would they even do it? I don't want to throw questions into the mix anymore. They've been proving themselves.
They have the showstopper to work with here as well, right?
Yeah.
And also, they've shown that they actually are starting to come up with some really good ideas of how to deal with these site anchors. When they went for the A hit, they had a paranoia towards where Benji plays. They waited to force him inside of his cage and then double cleared it. You know, they're really thinking and trying to adapt on the fly. Not so much macro adjustments, but the small stuff. In our site exec, let's put this piece of utility here instead to deal with this. And it's taken them long enough. It took them until round 9 to look competent on these site hits, but they're getting there, and it might be just enough. Gonna come down a lot to this, though.
Yeah. Benji retreating to the back of the site nade. This will clear at least one of the trips, maybe even both if they're lucky. It does. So now, no more defenses. Cages have to be popped off, and the util has to come flying. It's an anchor, flood, call. Now the showstopper rocket through! Buddy! What a shot! Clay Pigeon shooting, and he's removed the major threat. But through the back of the site, they're not ready for it. Fast on the tempo, and PRX are increasing it all the way through a wide face. Benji was feeling that heat. It's over. Just like that, the round is finished.
Spike planted.
Boo in a 1v4. Very few chances of success.
The round should be finished. The round should be finished. Okay.
And it is. It is. Monya and Something both going for the exploration. Even though Boo slips the cracks, Something's there. And in that round, okay, there was an adjustment from Heretics too. Riens, instead of playing from over towards screens, he tried to get in on the site so that they could double up. But after dealing with Forsaken, they were just not ready for the second player. You know, once Monya swings into backside here, Riens and Benji are not ready for that at all. For some reason, they just did not catch the timing. And so, somehow, PRX, mentally resilient, one away from a tied half.
Feeling empowered now, setting it forwards. They've changed the setup. Seems like wherever they go, they're just destined to try and meet Benji Fishy with some of these setups, but they do clear the trip, at least towards B main, and they're keeping Monya in that position. Boo's also decided to just play a hyper-aggressive angle. With the Viper Pit in mid as well, this is going to be cutting up, removing those options available for PRX. If anybody tries to walk through the trip, tries to go fast through it as well, they will have that trip in the pit on top of it, but it's broken.
It's definitely Boo's position that's the most vulnerable, but PRX are moving away from that into the stacked site.
To be, what's the call? I believe Miniboo's holding the nade. Trailblazer sends it flying. Actually predicting this one to just run forwards with the nice Something already there with the blade storm out wide to the flash. Set it up! Nasty stuff! Nasty one! Benji! Holy! What a return on the fire! Finally, the anchoring player removed 2 versus 2. Viper's Pit. It's a murky, murky territory now. It's going to be sweeping across the site. A tap, forcing the util out, but finally the plant. Divide. It's good.
Very close.
Bullets. Almost going down. 2 versus 2 still. Patience being played now. Gaps and positions to be watched for. And what is the call for either side? How do you choose to play it? Divide. Holding the angle. Stepping out wide. Padatek. Taking it in his stride as a game of timies. They're just bumping into each other. And PRX on the brink. The pit will fall though, toppled, decay, back up to the health, paranoia wide, Boo's got the smoke and a tap onto it, spraying, now, Boo, sticking, halved, but not enough, Divide, finds the perfect timing, picture perfect at that 6-6, they've evened up the half.
With 4 rounds in a row.
You can never count this team out. It looked so over by the time it got to round 8. And even here, Benji putting on absolute heroics. But the problem being, they needed to get the flood defend going so that Mindfreak couldn't pit. Once the pit was down, pretty much game over for Heretics. They tried their best, but we're heading into a tied half to decide this. It's not even a BO1 anymore.
Yeah. Anyone's game at this point, really. Anyone's game at all for the second half, for our final map in this series. Now, earlier we heard from Munyet. Let's hear from him a little bit about this match.
Hello, I'm Monyet. I'm the duelist of PRX. I felt like we're not playing up to our performance yet from what we practice, but I believe that we will overcome this. I would say because this is my first time playing against CDG, and all the boys already played G like twice or 3 times. But I would say, I think we misread them in the game, and also we have like some like communication problem in those crucial rounds, I would say.
Not a lot really to play with. They're going to try and just almost run their way through it, but they're slowly being revealed every single time they try and make their way through. Finally, the Reckoning will fade, but Mindfreak now in position. A cove for Forsaken to try and almost fight within, and they are falling like flies. Forsaken winning every battle!
I mean, it's really hard for us, like starting very slow, and also happen in Pacific kickoff. I mean, the goal for this tournament is just we go one by one, you know. It's not like we need to go to playoff, but if we had a bad tournament, I mean, everyone's just okay, you know, because we're not setting up the high expectation for this tournament. I just like want to go step by step, you know.
Maybe that's the key to some of the resilience that's been on display here by PRX. I mean, just step by step, round by round, match by match. I mean, not expecting anything moving into this tournament. He even said it himself, you know, like not even expecting playoffs or anything like that. But they're on the verge here of removing potentially one of the tournament favorites, one of the arena favorites at least. I mean,
Certainly.
still even footings. Maybe getting ahead of myself here, but something at the top of the scoreboard. This guy's been lighting the world on fire. He's been lighting a map on fire. He's awoken.
Yeah. You look at the 2 players at the top of the scoreboard. Benji's done everything he could possibly ask to do on the defense, but I don't see how he's going to be able to influence these attack rounds in the same kind of way, at least not easily. Whereas something on Jet in this comp, he can have enormous impact on attack and defense. If he's feeling it, he can force the fights. This pistol doesn't look like PRX are in position to try to fight it, unless something finds a timing up through vent.
Caught behind them. Having control, vitally important here. And guess what? Everybody just grouped up onto the side with the exception of Benji Fishy.
No, nobody is ramped to stop this retake from coming through. They're all on site.
Can't like the look of this post plant just on paper, at least just staring at the mini-map, because now, look at it, ramp control gained. Smoking off the main angle, look at them, they were trying to refight, it's just walking through these smokes, and well, with the decay kicking in, good luck to you. PRX still here, Benji Fishy cleaned up everybody, that's another pistol round for PRX. So consistent with it, to such a high degree now.
Yeah, and I feel like PRX mostly have been winning them themselves by virtue of great ideas. That one, I think, thrown away a bit by Team Heretics. I really did not like what they were going for in the post plant there.
Yeah.
Didn't make any sense to me. They needed to be repositioning to try to, you know, take another piece of map control or at least set up some crossfires. That is a rough fight. 3 easy pickings for PRX. And they will take another pistol. It's been keeping them in this game. If the pistols and the eco rounds and stuff had been more even, Heretics would be out to a massive lead right now, but they're not. That is not reality. PRX are winning in those important situations.
Remain take, nade, rebounds with the stun. Connection with the dog. Forsaken, he's looking for a little bit more because it will mean his ult will be earned online. Look at that, just overpowering them. All picked up.
1 enemy remaining.
The stragglers really dealt with here.
These are hard eco rounds for Heretics too. They can't afford to buy really anything into them because they're worried being pushed down onto light armor would be devastating against a team that likes to pick the outlaw as much. So there is some kind of knock-on effect of Forsaken and something going for that weapon as much. It makes those follow-up rounds after the pistol a lot easier. Nowhere close to any ultimates for Heretics. They can't even think about getting those online. Instead, they've got to worry about headshots coming out from the Outlaw, because we have seen some filthy stuff from something on Lotus.
He's taking an early gander and peek down A main. And yeah, faking like they could be taking control of B main. Which they are, they just disrespect it. I mean, running straight past the cam, not worried about any sort of trap play, semblance of it, something with a dash enabled active. Smells like something is up for him. And
but at the same time, for Heretics, they should be able to get a read on what's going on. This is like the most default way of playing this defensive comp, apart from the fact that Monyet's a little further forward than you would expect. But they certainly should be able to get an idea of what's happening. They're gonna fake like they're taking.
Whoa! That's I mean, a team flash with a paranoid connecting onto Forsaken. Yeah, just trying to reclear.
But look at this.
space.
The defenders here are going to be faster than the attackers. They could try to react off the back of this, but PRX have got the read. They know that that was fake B main.
Pure pixel angle. All that adjustment there. Just one to the body. 140 down and out. Mind Freak. Off angle here could do some serious damage, serious work. Once more, nail it down. They're all stacked up. Flash rebounded, but he's playing anti inside the smoke. Drops down. Still got a shorty as well. Will it be cleared? Yes, it will. Rians, good adjustment. Snap to the side, but they're not expecting the back of the site. But yet, still here. The Spectre, a bit of running gun, could do some work, but not enough. But the bullets just barely tagging. Reclearance down. Boo. Great work. Great work with the composure.
Important positioning from Boo there, something they were lacking on the pistol. But I was still very worried. From a macro perspective, Team Heretics hit the site there as PRX were expecting it, right? The defense is favored in that spot. And that's partly because PRX are more willing to go for those rotates, hard reads, gambles. Heretics, sometimes the perfect is the enemy of the good. If you take your time trying to clear every single position, you actually end up giving more time for the defenders to rotate. And yet, they get through it that round. But that is going to be something to keep our eyes on, especially when Forsaken has a big ult like this. Getting ready at the start of the round to see whether anybody was going for early ramp pressure.
Push back up onto the angle. Oh my, doubled up flash, avoided and dodged. Forsaken! Hopes and dreams, talk about it, dashed away, rocket rebounds! Goodness me. Relentless has the spike drop down too. He wants a little bit more, Boo.
One enemy remaining.
Sneaking around the sewers, Mini Boo. It's your turn. Can you step up to the challenge? You cannot. Flawless. And that's that early work that Forsaken was putting in, just trying to farm up those old orbs, disrespecting them, making sure that the kills went to him on the eco. Can use it to just set it up like that. Listen, they're probably going to win the round anyway. Probably didn't need the ult on top of it with those opening 2 kills, but he just seals it, doesn't he?
He does seal it, and at the same time too, that's an eco swing round for Heretics. So it's an important one to be able to secure. I think most teams would be happy in the 5v3 to save the ultimate for a better occasion. Maybe that's even the optimal play. But it is important to get yourself out in the lead here. PRX now favored to go up by 3. And Forsaken has just been a monster in these split games individually.
Form-wise, it's really being decided. That factor at play.
He's just so good.
Finishes him off. 2-4, reposition a Mind Freak. So back into it. Dog's gonna have a spot too. They want a few more. What is that? What is that? Disgusting. Satchel in their faces, man. This is relentless.
He looks unbelievable. The first half was Benji and Boo trying to hold back something. This time on defense, Forsaken's just, you know, calmed something down. He's like, don't worry, I got it. Yeah. I got this half. Hop in the backpack. Do not fret. What is this one? Disgusting.
Not even on it, man. Not even on it. But no, I mean, Forsaken not willing to end their tournament lifeline this early. Taking fate into his own hands. And yet, listen, I mean, Heretics got their own ambitions. Flames of it, but it's being extinguished right now. A timeout called for Heretics. Precious time at that. They need to get these players back on their feet because they're playing like they're rattled. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, I think they are. They're playing a little slowly. They're not willing to match the pace of PRX. And all of those mistakes that you were seeing earlier on are now getting covered up by pace and individual skill. The PRX players playing tighter together now that they all are on the same page and getting powered through by just winning so many duels. we have not seen Miniboo come online in this final map. He's been amazing for the rest of the tournament. Unbelievable in kickoff. It looked like a top 5 player in the world. And here, he has struggled to get online. They need Miniboo now more than ever. Otherwise, they are at serious risk of leaving this Spanish crowd without a representative here. And an extraordinarily strong team going home early.
Yeah, heartbreak, tragedy for them. You think about how close the prior match was, but a deep push, contact, making a footstep here. This should be a level of awareness, Boo! Oh, it's just asleep at the wheel, maybe watching something entirely different, but the fight was taken.
I mean, that is so much confidence from Forsaken there, the way that he swings that too. It's so committed.
4 players, though, ready to fight back, and they do. Dropping something.
Okay, they get the information. Does that call the pivot? It does. There's more pace here with Heretics. They know that the A site only being defended by Mindfreak, who could vulnerable them. Oh, he slipped into elbow instead.
The positions here, he's revealed himself though, just layering down that snake bite, flash, dodge, now to stun. God almighty, he's in trouble, needs some backup. Where is the help from the rest of his team? Through and out. Mindfreak and Divide. They double up onto that one.
That's incredible work. How has Mindfreak stayed alive long enough there for Divide to help?
It's a 2v3 surrounded. Every front.
If
No
Rians
control of anything.
If Rians gets a kill, he's got the breach ult online. It could be the only way they're saved. This Paranoia's headed towards elbow.
Trailblazer, aftershock down. Got to dodge it with a knife out. Now a plan. Rians now has the ult online. Does he choose to use it with the pressure? No, he dies! Or it's even active and instantaneous is the trade. No gaps in the play for PRX here. And they can feel it. Smiles on the stage. They are on the precipice. They're in control of their own destiny.
I cannot believe the difference between the first quarter of this map and the rest of it. Slow start. I mean, it took a while for PRX to even look like they were playing the game. The first 8 rounds, they were just out of it. I was ready to call
Chalked,
it.
man. It was chalked.
It looked incompetent. And then since then, they've only dropped 1 round. 1 round.
I'm convinced we're running old clips, but...
It must be. It's got to be. There's been nothing to be mad about.
No, that was just perfect with the fundamentals. One way disrespected. Heretics now grouped up side by side. They have the odds flash on either side, pushing them all the
Incredible
way
movement
back.
to cancel that whilst full block.
Rolling Thunder now. This sort of connection, aftershock, Paranoia walking right into all of this. Util! It's eventually traded there, still in the smoke, playing it around. Quick scope, something. Monyet from the back, Divide round the side! They can't hold a candle to it. The fundamentals, the flood defense. It's PRX at their best. They thrive in it.
Match point.
Going up to match point. This has been an outrageous game. An unbelievable game. And it feels like PRX have truly woken up. The form we're seeing from the players, the willingness to fight aggressively with each other. They are flooding out here with not a care in the world.
No hesitation.
One single mind.
And this is where it all turns. I'm gearing up for it. I can see it on the mini-map. 5 players from Heretics, all on the line. We're in the round already. Grouped up, operator to meet them. And this could spell disaster for the Spanish org. The team of new players, new rookies, some of them. Experience at this wider stage, it could all just tumble and collapse. Dash now available. Re-swings into it. The nail in the coffin. One after the time, the hammer swings down and out onto the anvil. And there is no hope, no chance in hell. They have gone home entirely. PRX eliminating the Spanish favorites.
What a performance! What a resurgence! Insane individual talent. And finally waking up and looking like PRX of last year. Eliminating a team that won every single map to qualify for Madrid. And then played an insanely close game with Sentinels. Looking like one of the best teams that we had here. So many ideas. And PRX takes that and tears it apart. In the final map, in the final half, they were clearly the better squad. A great try from Heretics, but they will be gutted. They wanted to go further. They had so much left to show. And now they're going to have to wait until April, stage 1, to be able to showcase it again.
It goes to show how tense and tight that competition is between all the teams here. I mean, when you have the best 2 teams from every region, it doesn't matter if a team's looking like they're in poor form heading into the tournament entirely. I mean, PRX are slow starters. They've said this about themselves. They said this about Madrid as a tournament. They weren't really looking forward to really putting on a good performance and making playoffs. They didn't set those expectations for themselves, but they're continuing forward anyway. And yes, playoffs isn't made, but they have overcome an incredible challenge here today.
And I think there has been a struggle for this team to reinvent themselves. You listen to what Alex has been saying, and the whole team, they're not feeling confident about this. They're still trying to figure out what their style is going to look like with Monyet on the team. And for them to go, sure, it's still double duelist that they showcased on Split, but for them to change things up and still look really solid and still get all of that firepower out of Something and Forsaken is just marvelous. And all of the pace that they brought knocked Heretics asunder. That was not the same tight Heretics team. They looked timid on the attack rounds, slow to try to take advantage of opportunities, still trying to figure out how to deal with a fast-paced team like PRX, who, like Mixwell said earlier, once you've played, they can be very difficult to deal with the first time.
Wow, an incredible series. I mean, with that all being said and done, we're going to send it down to the analyst desk to take it all down and away. Break it down, guys. I mean, if you can.
I mean, I'm going to try. We're going to try. You know, look, Heretics learned today about W Gaming because PRX manages to close it out in, honestly, rather like intense fashion, but also it felt like PRX were just so far ahead at a certain point. Like Heretics, they took their foot off the pedal, Mimi.
Yeah, I mean, once we got into that second half, it was a complete 180 from the start of that game. Playing this comp, just the utter confidence they're coming out with when they're flooding into these sites, like the casters were talking about. It's not a huge change in the comp, but it's such a 180 from what we saw earlier from PRX. They are truly awoken right now.
Absolutely. I mean, the real danger was Benji Fishy to start things out.
Yeah.
He got those back-to-back 4Ks. He's top-fragged both maps back-to-back as well. The consistency was out of this world. A great display for Heretics. And one other thing to remember is they played 2 maps on the international scene last year overall. Now they got to play 6 here. A big learning opportunity for the organization and for this roster. I think there's a lot that they're going to be bringing back to EMEA.
But that's the big tragedy of it, because this team came out and looked excellent. They were just a few rounds on any map away from beating Sentinels. It was the same here, but they're going home, and PRX is moving on.
Well, let's check in with Dryad for the Verizon post-match interview with Forsaken.
Que termina siendo el equipo eliminado, pero los fans de PRX nunca faltan. Heretics gets eliminated, but PRX fans are always here. And I want to hear you guys, where are the PRX fans over here? And I'm here with Forsaken for the post-match interview. Estoy aquí con Forsaken para la entrevista. Mi primera pregunta para Forsaken va a ser justamente lo que acabamos de ver, ese último mapa de Split en el que cambian su composición. Volvimos a ver a Forsaken con Raze y quiero preguntarle a qué se debía este cambio y qué era lo que cambiaba porque estaba teniendo un desempeño increíble. Forsaken, the first thing I want to ask is what we just got the chance to watch for the last map of Split. You change the composition and you go from the triple duelist to just 2 duelists and you on the Raze. And that's the main show today. In that second half, you were just going up. So tell me how and why you changed the composition, and how does it feel to go back to that race?
I think I realized that maybe these comps only work for Pacific, because in this very hard, everyone just so good. And then I just realized that I think we need some info, some like initiator, you know. So I decided to like change the race and make Monyet go OMEN, because I feel like he's really good at OMEN, especially surviving skills. I think he's really good at it. So I still can't believe that this is my race debut, my first race debut, you know, and I can win against TH. It's like really amazing, you know. So yeah.
Sí, lo que nos está diciendo es que se daba cuenta de la composición que estaban jugando antes de triple duelista, solo servía en Pacífico. Cambiaban esa composición, se daban cuenta de que él se daba cuenta de que necesitaban un poco más de información y por eso decide hacer el cambio a él jugar con la Race y poner a Monyet a que jugara en ese Omen. Decía que lo conseguiría un muy buen Omen y que aún así no podía creer lo que era este último mapa. Ahora, también le quiero preguntar lo que ha sido más que nada su flexibilidad a través de lo que ha sido la región de Pacífico y dentro de este torneo. ¿Cómo se siente? Y si podemos seguir esperando, como siempre, esas sorpresas de PRX. And we just talked about the race, but you've become one of the best flex players, if not the best flex players that we have right now in this tournament. Can we expect a little bit more surprises coming from you? And what is it like to be that flex player for PRX?
Yeah, I mean, maybe I will play Deadlock or ISO next, who knows?
Okay. I believe it.
Yeah. I mean, the reason why I like become flexible because like I just love how I can create like a lot of stuff, strategy, and I just love being creativity. I think that's all.
Lo que nos dice es que de pronto, sí, cuando le preguntaba de qué otra composición y si podíamos ver algo más de él, decía, de pronto puedo jugar Deadlock, de pronto puedo jugar ISO, no se sabe, pero después nos dice que lo que más le gusta es ser flexible, es poder traer un poco más de creatividad, de ideas, y eso es lo que destaca la creatividad más que nada del equipo. Última pregunta que le tengo, ¿contra quién se quiere enfrentar de este torneo? Who do you want to face in this tournament?
I would say if somehow we met EDG again,
Okay.
you know?
The rematch.
Rematch, yeah. I think it's gonna be different.
Dice que si se tienen que enfrentar con alguien, tiene que ser con EDG. Le gustaría poder tener ese rematch. Eso es todo lo que tenemos de esta entrevista. This is everything that we have for this interview. But if you're wondering how those next matches are gonna look like, we're gonna go right to the draw show.
Hola a todos y bienvenidos a la Masters de Madrid. Os presento a todos el sorteo de los próximos partidos que vamos a tener en el día de mañana. Estoy aquí con Victoria. Victoria, you're going to tell us how this draw works, right?
Yeah, so it's a little complicated, just bear with me. You can kind of shuffle these around while I'm talking.
Nice.
So basically, during the Swiss stage, there's not going to be any sort of rematches that have already been seen in the Swiss stage. So what that means is that EDG and PRX will not meet each other again. So what this does for the draw, if they are drawn to be in the same match, then the second team drawn for the match that results in that happening will be redrawn. So if we get, let's say we have KC versus Loud, then Loud's going to be redrawn to be one of the other two teams. And then if EDG versus PRX is drawn, we will redraw the second team. And that's kind of how this is going. So 4 teams, but a little complicated. So we can go ahead and get started. I'll just have you pick a box and throw it to me. It's going to be match 1 of whenever we decide the schedule is. The draw order is not necessarily the schedule order, but the first match, team 1.
Chicos, voy a darle la primera papeleta de lo que va a ser el primer equipo que vamos a sacar aquí. Y se lo voy a dar a ella para conocer que va a ser...
We have Carmine Corp.
Carmine Corp. Y Carmine Corp se va a enfrentar a...
PRX.
A PRX. Vale, y vamos con el segundo partido que ya está claro, ¿no? Solo son 4 equipos. There's only 4 teams, so...
Yeah. Well, the first team drawn in each match is the higher seed, so it does matter a little bit. All right, so the first team for the other match is going to be Loud.
Loud, los brasileiros.
And then their opponent, by default.
It's a little difficult to open these boxes, actually, without knowing where it opens from, you know?
Alrighty. It's going to be EDG.
EDG. Y se han dado partidos completamente distintos a lo que acabamos de ver hasta el día de hoy. Así que nos espera un día de mañana súper, súper emocionante. Espero veros aquí con la Masters Madrid para otro día más de emoción, frenetismo y partidos increíbles que nos están esperando mañana. Nos vemos mañana, chicos.
There you have it. We got the draw, and you may notice that we swapped out a Mitchman for an Alex. That's right. Coach Alex is here today.
Hello.
Please take care of my desk, okay?
And please react to that draw. You guys are playing Carmine Corp. What do you think?
Yeah, that's great. I think we're gonna be a really good game. I think both teams are very, very aggressive. One is a little bit crazier than the other.
Yeah.
Like Carmine Corp.
Okay.
Oh,
Of course. Yeah, we are the structured team. You know? Have you not seen us play?
No, I actually haven't. That's crazy.
Oh, man. Well, look, firstly, you know, this has been such a wild day for you guys.
Oh, yeah.
We were talking before. There's obviously like a lot of uncertainty going into this matchup for you guys, but it just felt like once the switch gets turned on, it's impossible to turn it off. How do you coach that? That's
I mean, I didn't really say much in the second half, you know. Like I just let guys look good. It's the end of the line. You're either going home or you do something special.
Yeah, when we watch you on the camera, you are always slamming your desk. It seems like you're getting really emotional.
I honestly tried to do it less today.
Yeah, you're trying to treat the desk.
I was very kind today, no?
Yeah.
One time.
But I wanted to ask about how do you balance like your own emotions with when you talk to the team and giving them the message you need to hear?
Honestly, I think I do it before so they can't hear me, so that I don't actually get angry at them, you know.
Sure.
Yeah, so after I let it all, I'm like, okay. This is what we need to do, guys. You know, that's what I do.
Yeah, I want to ask you as well about the final map. Forsaken was answering about it a little bit in his interview as well. But you guys had a really short turnaround to come back and change up from that triple duelist comp. Can you talk to me about the thought process and also how you made the transition so quick?
I mean, I think we just went back and asked like Chaya, Monyet, like, look, are you really comfortable on this map? You know, like we need to change some stuff. The triple duelist is kind of overcooked, you know. Yeah. He said, look, split is the worst one. You know, we need to fix this shit. So after that, we decided, okay. Put him on OMEN. Mindfreak had to sacrifice a little bit, go on to Viper. He's never played Viper before, so we had one day. And Forsaken, you know, he plays everything, so we just chucked in there and prayed.
How many times did you get to scrim split before you played the match? Once?
Yeah, just once.
Okay.
But we did a lot of like server work, you know, like talking and stuff.
Sure.
To figure it out.
How's it been incorporating Monye into the team? Because it feels like he gets along really well, but I think when he got brought in, I think a lot of people were wondering like, where is he going to sit in this squad? How does he fit into the system that you guys have built? You know, W Gaming, all that stuff. How's it been incorporating him in there?
I mean, he actually plays very well in practice. It's just I think he's really nervous sometimes, you know. So if it starts well for him and a round goes wrong, sometimes he can just like, oh my god, it's good.
Are you guys trying to make it more comfortable for him moving forward?
Exactly, yeah.
Okay.
So I mean, like right now he told us like, look, the race is not working for us. We're gonna try and move him away from it.
Okay.
I mean, but you know, we don't have much time. I think we're playing tomorrow, no?
Yeah, you are.
Well, we have like 5 hours then, I guess.
Yeah. How do you prepare for a format like this? How much of your game plan is focused on your team on PRX, and how much is on counter-stratting generally? And how does that change for this Swiss format where the matches are back to back?
I mean, before we came in, you know, we just did like a rough idea of every team here because we don't know who we're gonna play. So I use that as a basis for anything we do. When we find out the team, you know, I prefer to be awake really early in the morning. I just rewatch everything and then just reconfirm what we're doing, you know, what they're adjusting. And then after we come up with a game plan, everybody gets together in the middle of just 1 hour before, and we talk about the game plan, we make sure we're aligned, and then we just go into it and see what happens.
Sure. I mean, it panned out today. As well as that, you guys playing against a home crowd. You've done that before when you all went on that run all the way back in Copenhagen. It was the same deal.
Yeah,
is the team just used to it at this point, or do you still feel that pressure, especially for Monyet as a new player?
I mean, I always tell them that they're cheering for us, you know.
Just lie to yourself?
Yeah, and then they laugh and it's okay, you know. I mean, I think we're lucky enough that most people like us. So you know, so we don't really get like.
Do they get a little flustered if they feel like they're? Have you noticed that before?
Never.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they enjoy it. You know, we really don't get like lands like this in Asia.
Yeah.
For us, it's like really like it's an environment to enjoy. You know, we try to approach it with a positive mindset mostly.
Yeah. I mean, well, I remember, you know, coming into this, it was Forsaken who had said he felt like he was a 6 out of 10 coming into the event here.
Yep.
And I have to wonder, you know, like for you got to keep that positivity going. Is that oftentimes very challenging when the players, you know, they're young, they're emotional, you know, all the things that happen with teenagers and young adults and stuff?
I mean, in the past, no. I mean, the last 3 years, we never really had to deal with this. But this time we're coming in with less confident than we usually are. So it's actually.
Do you feel that was a helpful thing or
less confident?
Yeah.
Terrible.
Yeah. Okay. Because I was just curious. You know, everyone's got.
We're suffering right now.
Yeah.
Do you think
every
the
round
confidence
is
is back now?
I don't know. We have to see.
After watching that last map, you don't feel like it is?
For one half, yeah.
Yeah?
I mean, look, Lotus, I feel like we could have done a little bit better.
Yeah.
We had like 10-6 lead or something, and it suddenly disappeared, you know, confidence.
Yeah, but
really
in that interview that Alex was mentioning, Forsaken said you guys are a 6 out of 10. What would you rate your team right now?
6 out of 10.
Bang on still?
I love you, man.
It hasn't changed at all.
Yeah, I respect it. I
Honest.
respect it. All right, well, let's go ahead and show what we have coming up tomorrow for you wonderful people at home, and what a treat that we had today here. But of course, playoffs on the line. We have our 1-1 teams that are going to be clashing against each other. You'll get the schedules later on. Make sure you stay tuned to the social media for VCT across all the different regions to get updates there. But you can see the matches play out. You guys are playing Carmine Core. Alex, you know, I guess it seems like you were excited about that game just to see like what would happen there. Any player in particular that you're like, oh boy, they're going to be a problem for us?
Narrate, man.
Yeah.
It's on fire this time.
Kind of fed that one to you.
Is he a top-rated player right now? He must be.
He might be.
He must be.
I mean,
he's been incredible.
Yeah.
We were screaming with him when we went champions, you know, and he was trying for other
Like back when he was on an NA team.
Yeah, he was so good.
He was like.
He was already so good. Yeah, he was already so good.
That's wild.
Yeah. Wow. Well, hey, man, we're excited nonetheless. Best of luck to you guys tomorrow. Take care of the furniture. You're doing a good job. I'm proud of you, buddy. But yeah, that's going to do it for us today. Big shout out to Mimi, our casters. We also, Mitch, who stepped aside as well. You know, got to go celebrate some St. Patty's Day love. But
Alex actually fired him personally.
yes,
I'm here forever now.
Yeah, it's true. But guys, don't worry, because we're going to be back here tomorrow. You're going to see his team take the stage against Carmine Core. You're also going to see Loud take the stage as well versus, help me out, Mimi? EDG.
There was only one more team.
I know, but you know what? I'm old and I'm tired. All right, guys. Well, we're going to go ahead and say goodbye to you for now, but we'll catch you tomorrow with plenty more Masters Madrid. See you soon, guys.
Thanks so much.
It's a classic David versus Goliath. FPX, they're facing off against some stacked talent in Loud. It's safe to say this is going to be a tall order for the Chinese team. But if there's anything that we've learned from this tournament, it's that this squad can do it.
One of these two teams will be going home. But now he has to go. He's got to take this challenge halfway. Not achieved. Autumn plays it well. Life's now pretty questioning what the hell's going on. No idea about Tui's, but a fantastic clutch from him. They don't know about Salak until now. And what a horrible surprise it was. And he's just spraying and praying and it works. This could be it. The downfall of FPX on this map. Bless looking to close, and he does. 13-5. It's clean work for Loud. They are looking very sharp here. Autumn and Life are very good, but they're going to need to do a lot more than that here. They're down to 15. Yeah, Lysor on a platter. They've got to know about Autumn, but he's still firing. Great work from Autumn, and I am there. That's much better. His position will be considered. He's been there more often than not. But Life, free and death against Loud. Less two is what we got. Anything, he's going to take down only one, and that is nowhere near enough. So even though they have the site, they have no ability to do it. Lysor going down. Autumn, you got to be worried about. He makes his appearance known. Oh, and that's just perfect again. As he got the heroics in him. He's got so many targets, so many threats. He can't do it. It's done. FPX will be going home, and Loud live to fight another day.
Heretics playing in front of the hometown crowd. It's going to be a difficult task for PRX, but this team is no slouch when it comes to fighting in unfamiliar territories.
There's Patatek, half on a defuse. The time, he's got it. Wonder will they check it? Not quite, it's a half clearance. Oh, Benji, he's blinded. He does not care.
On the follow-up, they only won 2 of the rifle rounds.
Ooh!
Clean headshots.
Clean off. Still watching.
One
the damage.
enemy remaining.
Low enough. One shot in the chamber. Meunier sends it. Holy! The pieces have maybe thought something out of it, but it's a triple face. You do not stand, you fall against this team.
And that puts him in a brutal position now, heading into Lotus.
In time, something seems to go for it. And he's playing it patiently, really waiting it out. Could be a risk being played, but no, he's just lined it up for the 2. Popped like a balloon straight into the sky here, but now it comes down to the gunfight. Something is unleashed entirely. Flash here, just spots it as well. Blowing the halo ring around the head. Benji, Fishy, take your pick, Forsaken. From Meunier to the back wall. He didn't get it. No way, everybody's fallen. Time. Heretics not willing to go out so early.
We're going to split now, and you got to be worried for PRX.
Just to play anti-flash position, nasty adjustment. Snaps upwards. They don't know where he is. They're trying to hunt him down.
I'm so good. Sit down. Sit down. Go, guys. Sit down. Sit down.
Fully in control. You dare set your sights or your feet. Still a shotgun. No way, he knows it. Something's there. It's a flood defense, a flood play. Right in, resetting. The aim! The nail in the coffin. One after the time, the hammer swings down and out onto the anvil. And there is no hope, no chance in hell. They have gone home entirely. PRX eliminating the Spanish favorites.